Welcome to QueerRadio.com. QueerRadio.com.
Aloha everyone, and welcome to Aquarian Radio at aquarianradio.com. And I'm your host, Janet Lesson, and I'm an ET experiencer and researcher. My co-host is hypnotherapist Dr. Sasha Lesson, who specializes in facilitating recall and expansion of extraordinary consciousness. Today's program is part of the series, Alien Contact Organization. Today we preview a series of workshop exercises for experiencers and contactees. And you can catch us in person at the UFOCon 2017, March 24th, 25th, and 26th, from Friday at 4 p.m. and on Sunday at 9 p.m. in San Francisco at the Holiday Inn. And we will be adding this experiencer group to future venues as we make them happen. And the name of our show today is ET Experiencers, Heroes of Humanity. Dr. Lesson and I lead this experiential March 26th at 3:30 p.m. in South San Francisco. And I share how I experienced extraterrestrial, interdimensional, past life, and future lives, and how you can too. And I teach how to cast paranormal experiences as your hero journey of self-discovery, a journey to get boons for all humanity from aliens and spiritual guides. In this workshop, Dr. Lesson leads an experiential exercise like the one we're going to demonstrate. So track my story with yours, and it'll help your hero journeys and how you help and show you how to help others.
Okay, so this is Doc Lesson. Listen, we've had ET contact from the get-go. Extraterrestrials have interacted with us as current Earthlings since 300,000 years ago, when geneticists of the gold mining expedition from planet Nibiru to Earth, known as the Anunnaki, adapted their DNA. They added proto-Sasquatch genes, copper, minerals, and mitochondrial DNA to their genome, and they made it us, their slave race. The statues, clay tablets, oral traditions show lots of stories of our ancestors traveling in and viewing spacecraft from the planet Nibiru. So we've had lots, as I say, ET contact from the get-go. We see ET skeletons, advanced technological devices, models of their aircraft, depictions of their astronauts, and megalithic structures on every continent on this planet, under the seas and in caverns deep within the earth. Modern UFO research and documented contactee testimonies give us evidence that any reasonable court of law would find utterly convincing. We have been and still are in extensive contact with ETs, and the nations of the earth have made treaties in cooperation with extraterrestrials. Some of these extraterrestrials have abducted Earthlings for experimentation, breeding, and slavery. We know this. Millions of people from every continent have been in direct and personal and astral contact with ETs on this and other planets, in space, on their crafts. Now, contemporary Earth governments and the Vatican have suppressed information about their clandestine treaties, and they've ridiculed, intimidated, ruined, and even assassinated people who have blown the whistle on what these leaders of us have agreed with the ETs. And so it's dangerous to be a whistleblower, but people have come out and done it anyway. Yeah, let's chat it up for a while.
Right. Well, I just want to add about the whistleblowers. It's better to, in some way, to come out in mass like we are than coming out one at a time. So that's what this experiential workshop is about, is that we are reaching critical mass and people are coming out every day. And so we won't be held back anymore. We're tired of being shamed and judged. So speaking of judging, we want to help you get a non-judgmental hypnotherapist. So if you want to explore alien contact you may have had, You get a non-judgmental, open hypnotherapist. This person shows you how to accept yourself and your sub-selves, and your experiences. She or he hears what you say, you experience, and doesn't bug you about whether what you saw, felt, heard, intuited, and envisioned was real. Your therapist says, after the trance session, you'll remember the session what's in your best interest to remember when the time is right for you to remember it. You came to hypnosis to explore alien contact, but past, future, parallel, or interdimensional lives may flood your consciousness. You may well then relive ET contact you've had in these incarnations, in other bodies, times, and places. Trance work lets you recall way more detail of how you and your aliens contacted each other and interacted. Again, though you came to explore your alien experiences, you may instead relive military or college abductions, psychedelic journeys, vision quests, or astral trips. The alien memories you access can, in your trance, segue with womb, childhood, and adult memories. Whatever you notice, your therapist helps you drop fear, trauma, and memory blocks when it serves you to do so. Perhaps you hear again words and thoughts you and your hybrid kids and ancestors shared as you and they dwelt in other bodies, times, and places within the earth, in space, on spacecraft, on other planets, and in non-physical realms. You can remember sex with aliens or merge with the creator of all. You benefit from the perspectives and wisdom you gain during the contact. And when you expand your memories in trance, you get even more benefits. Inevitably, you give the world the insights you got, still get, and will continue to get from alien contact. Your therapists let you recall alien contacts at a pace you can assimilate. In trance, you can keep enlarging what you recall, and you glean more details. You can see how you and your family members have made ET contact all your lives, and you see what that contact's ongoing and will probably continue. And you get that you consented to alien contact, and you celebrate your mission in the big story. You and each hypnotherapy session, when you've had enough for now, and your therapist will not push you. She or he helps you center yourself so you can operate in daily life, honor your ecology, and recognize, accept, and address the needs of your inner child, internal critic, social subself, and inner therapist. In other words, your therapist will witness you, tarry with you, and not try to fix or repair you because you ain't broke.
Yeah, and if you don't have a therapist, you can actually follow along kind of the cues and be your own therapist and talk to yourself in the mirror and stuff. So even though we're saying that it's best to have a therapist, if you have no one but yourself, that's better than no one. Okay, so let's look at some of the clues that you may have had contact. The great alien contact hypnotherapist, Barbara Lamb, says that how you react to alien contact ranges all the way from wonder, awe, and enlightenment on the one hand to big-time anxiety, fears, and sometimes you can't even function. So there's the whole range. And some clues you might have that you've had this kind of contact are mysterious interruptions in your life, disorientation, confusion, panic attack, anxieties you don't understand, flashbacks, intense dreams, fear that you're crazy, distrust others, addictions, compulsions, psychic abilities may suddenly come up, but you might also be afraid of being left alone. Sometimes if you have bright lights following you, that might be a clue that aliens have contacted you. You might fear darkness. If you're scared of falling asleep, these fears could lead you to therapy to a repressed ET contact. Now, Barbara Lamb writes that if you fear praying mantises, spiders, snakes, or if you worry about animal or owl eyes watching you, your hypnotist can use these kinds of fears as gateways for you to recall alien contacts that you have repressed. Some other hints that you may have had alien contact. You may have had them if you sleep clothed and you wake at certain times each night. If you feel you've been dropped into bed. If you wake in strange positions or in rooms other than the one that you went to sleep in. Or even if you wake up miles from your house. That happens to some abductees. or you wake up with your clothes on backwards, or you wake up wearing clothes that belong to someone else. Any of those things may well lead you to remember with a hypnotherapist your alien contact. You could also suspect alien contact if you have certain kinds of scoop-shaped scars, triangular marks on your gluteuses, pus in your navel, if there's fingertip marks on your body, or pinprick marks. Often abductees will have little lumps by their ears or on their foreheads. More hints: headaches, pains behind the eyes, stiffness in the back, neck, or genital area, nose problems, ringing or buzzing in the ears, blood on your pillow, any of those things. When you go into trance, you may recall alien contact that these symptoms will lead you to. And one of the big ones is if you carried a fetus, but you didn't have sex. If you had a fetus in your uterus for a few months and then it vanished without a trace, you probably had contact with ETs, and you should explore this with your therapist.
So now we're going to talk about frequent alien memories. When you relive alien contact, you may feel again paralysis. You may re-experience levitating, moving through walls and windows, and you may remember that you were beaming up. You might recall ETs on a spacecraft doing medical procedures on you, or you re-experience that you had tutorials about being an ambassador with the ETs, or you had training classes you had on a spacecraft with other children who have become people in your life now. That is one of the experiences I had. I remember seeing in the 60s I was in classes as a child, and when I grew up, became an adult, I ended up with two boyfriends, and when I looked at their childhood pictures, my mouth dropped open, and I clearly recalled interacting with those children on a craft in a school-type situation. Whatever you recall, hypnotherapy can help you assimilate and make sense of bizarre experiences, and you can function well even though these experiences continue. So the aliens often tell us to forget. Your therapist helps you relive alien contacts and to see the resonances of the alien experiences in ever-expanding detail, even if aliens told you to forget them. You recorded everything you saw, felt, heard, and thought. All your experiences are imprinted in your biocomputer's memory banks, some of which have been offline in your unconscious mind. You can, with hypnotherapy, relive your experiences and release emotions and thoughts from your alien contacts. You learn to use your memories to better your life and enjoy ongoing contacts with the aliens. And you have a right, Barbara Lamb says, to know. No harm will come to you or the aliens by remembering and sharing. The aliens often make us forget what we've seen or heard because we can't rationally integrate that into our daily lives. When you have alien contact and you remember it fully, it may you may be dysfunctional the next day and unable to integrate and carry on. So you have to be at a level of soul development to be able to center yourself and go to work the next day, or at least be able to call on the phone and say, I'm sick and I can't come in. So that happened to me many times, but eventually I ended up being on a military base, and there was no calling in sick and faking it. You had to show up, because if you went over to the medical center and there was nothing wrong with you, they made you go to work anyway. You had to have a legitimate excuse, like something that they could detect with the monitor, or they could get your temperature or whatever. So I was abducted by aliens one night. It was a long experience, and I was plopped back into my bed 1 second before the alarm went off. And I just said, oh, I got to go to work. So I managed to get through the day, and I kind of mark my fears and instabilities and the need to process it and express it. And then after work was done, I was able to talk about it with other people. So just hold that thought, and then you will eventually get to a place where you can integrate your experiences. So we're going to access extraterrestrials through our centers. So if you're an extraterrestrial or interdimensional contactor, that's what we're calling the contactees, you are the contactor, You may have suppressed an inner voice that agreed to your contacts. Perhaps you agreed and forgot you did. You could have made this agreement long ago in past lives, and it's been going on for thousands, maybe millions of years. Who knows? Maybe you remember ETs invaded you and think they did so against your will. But a protected part of you, a primary subself, labeled the contact to which you agreed as involuntary. So your primary self may have hidden from your awareness that you said yes to paranormal or extraterrestrial contact. Sometimes after extensive therapy and maturity, you realize a part of you, a suppressed subpersonality, alter part, or repressed inner voice, did say yes to contact. Your social or primary subselves can push your inner contactor, a voice inside your head, from your conscious awareness to shield you from conventional people who would shame, punish, or even lock you away for recalling and speaking of your ET or paranormal experiences. But it can be safe now to let yourself experience part of you that wants you to remember your experiences with ghosts, spacefaring entities, time travelers, and spirit guides, as well as your own existence on other planets, in other dimensions, and in the past and future. To the degree that you judge it safe, you can remember and even judiciously share your experiences with other contactors as well as people in the ET Experiencers networks. You can, of course, share under a pen name, a pseudonym, and keep your life private. Keep your privacy. I suggest you let yourself remember such experiences. You can opt to keep your contacts private or share them. You learn when you follow the cues, which are below. We're going to do the cue sheet? Yes, okay. To review and relive your contacts from your center. Then you choose what to tell and what to hide from those who might freak out if they hear what you actually experienced.
Okay, the cues that we're going to be taking Janet through, which you can get on our website, they teach you first to center yourself and to then realize what you're like when you're centered. When you're centered, you can feel more than one aspect of you at the same time. So you can feel your dancer, and you can and your get up and go person, your pusher, your full of energy bunny, and you can also feel your lazy kick back one. And they're both part of you. So when you're centered, you can feel whatever opposites are within you. And the more the mature you are, the more you realize that the things that seem to bug you in other people or you overly admire are really just resonating with parts of yourself. So your center winds up taking all the different parts of you into consideration, and they all have something to contribute. And what you get from your center is the degree that it's okay to talk about your ET contacts or not, or to what degree it's safe in the therapeutic situation that you're in, whether you're in a workshop or on a one-to-one with your hypnotherapist or just on your own, how much you want to go deep. But you can always let your center and the part of you that we're going to call the contactor, you can distance yourself from the experience, or you can let it into your consciousness to whatever degree you choose to. Okay, so what we say is that your protective selves can interrupt whatever's going no matter what, because if you've had enough, and you'll do more later. So what's important is you want to create a private setting where you can make plenty of noise if you need to. And you make sure the phone is disconnected, no one's going to interrupt you, and you need to have several places, chairs or cushions, where you can sit down and the little parts of you, your subselves, can sit down. Okay.
So you want me to read this? It seems like a repeat of what you just said.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just go into the sample. We're gonna now take Janet through just enough of this so you get a feeling for it. What was it, Janet?
I was just moving that over here.
Okay. And so here we go. So Janet, you can sit right here. I have her sitting in this she's on a chair with rollers. This is the place for you to center yourself where you're going to hear your inner voices or your parts. And I'm going to call your center Janet, your name, okay? So breathe deep, center yourself, and tell me from your center, what's one of the main protective voices that you show the world? How do you protect yourself from people that would make fun of you or put you down, stuff like that?
Well, my protector, let's call my protector, doesn't allow me to say certain things in certain audiences. So
Right.
unless I'm around other experiencers, if I'm back home with my fundamentalist right-wing Christian family, I probably will not express any of these things that I'm talking to you listeners today on the radio show, because if I were in person with those people, they would say that I was possessed by the devil and try to harm me
Okay,
and
so
shame me.
so what I hear is that the part of you that protects you is your pleaser, that doesn't want to do anything that's going to make these people angry at you. Is that the part that you deal with your family with when you were a kid?
My pleaser, well, my pleaser's different. My pleaser would curtail any activities to prevent harm. It's a subtle difference. My protector's a little bit different, although they're in alignment with each other.
Okay, your
My
protector.
pleaser might stay in a situation and say things because it was more advantageous for me to remain in the situation. Like for a while there, I stayed in a marriage that wasn't really working, but I went into my pleaser and I did things to try to fix the marriage rather than run away. But eventually my protector came in and took me completely away from Pennsylvania and all those people there, and the ex-husbands and the family that was judgmental, and got me to Hawaii, where I was safe from having to be inauthentic and run around in my pleaser.
Okay, so you see, audience, that we usually have more than one primary that are or facade or role that we put out when it's in our interest, when we can have a chance to decide which one we want. So we're going to work with not with the pleaser, but with the protector for Janet. So Janet, I want you to roll your chair. If you're at home and doing this, you just move your seat to a slightly different position. And
I want to talk this way.
And so now I want you. There, she's moved. I want you to be your protector. Okay. So, protector, I know that I want. What's your job? Tell me how you take care of Janet, protector.
I protect Janet from situations which are deleterious to her health and well-being.
Okay, so in this particular case, we're going to ask you to if she starts to say more over the radio now, then it would be appropriate to just say, "I'm the protector, and I want Janet to step out of her contactor or whatever part she's doing and be centered again." So, protector, I want you to know that you're in charge. Because I would do this for a good hypnotist would do this to anyone. They would say to the person's protective self, the part that guards the vulnerability and doesn't want the person to have to come out too fast, doesn't push. Okay, so thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we you understand that you can interrupt Janet? I just want to make sure that you're in charge, protector. You got it?
Yes.
Okay, so now, Janet, would you please move back into center for a minute and let go of being the protector, just be Janet, the whole person. There, she moved her chair. Okay, now we're going to ask you to do something different. I want you to tell me, first, to be from the aware ego or center that you're in now, about this part of you that we're calling the contactor, the part of Janet that can open to frequencies that normal everyday people don't get, the part that knows ET, the part that knows other levels of existence. We call that the contactor. What would you like me to say? What would you like to say about what you are like when you are fully embodying this contactor part of you? What do you like? What is that contactor like? First, tell us from an aware ego.
I am open to contact from extraterrestrials, interdimensionals, and spirit beings, angels, guides, whoever feels whoever's available to come and contact me, and I protect myself from negative forces, dark forces, and I have been contacting different beings all of my life, perhaps my existence, and so now in this current awareness, I am comfortable with contact, although I will never let someone take me over, possess me. I always have my part of myself that is me is always there and will step in at any time to intervene should there be someone that I do not give permission to contact me.
Thank you.
Trying to come through.
Understood. So contact her, close your eyes now, and I want you to just relax. And there's a number of ways you can relax, but just the easiest way is probably to just imagine you're going down a spiral staircase, and with each step you descend, you go a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper into a relaxed state where whatever is appropriate for you can really come up for you, and you come to the platform of the transporter, and in the there's a monitor and keyboard right there in the transporter platform, and you can press different kinds of buttons and combination buttons. You can press them to go into the future or the past or to a parallel world or to an ET contact. On this transporter, you can go as the contactor to whatever situation is most in Janet's interest to access in this demonstration for the public on the radio. Go to, if you would, the dials, push the dials on the any combination of dials or symbols. There's just symbols on some of them. You're going to notice which dials, what buttons you push, and what experience it starts to take you to. And tell me when you push a button.
Okay.
What do you push?
I'm beaming myself into another world.
Yes. And allow a scene to take place in this other world and just relate it in the present tense as it unfolds.
I'm walking down the streets of a very large city on the planet Nibiru, and I've been here many times before. I actually have a job here, my duties and responsibilities. I have an office, I have an apartment. I like to travel up and down the streets and go to the bazaar where people ask you to take their wares rather than purchase. And I go down the mall and there's all these incredible smells of food. And each day I can select something else. There are no concerns or worries. Money's not a problem. There isn't any money. It's just all barter, trade, sharing, high civilization. It's very conscious.
I see. If you were that planet on which you were walking, you're calling it Nibiru, what is your existence? What are you like, Nibiru?
I'm an old and proud civilization that's endured much and come to this point of consciousness through many trials and tribulations. But we as a people who inhabit this world are one with our planet and love it and always honor, respect it, because we realize we're in a symbiotic relationship, and without the other would make life a dull thing.
What do you want of Janet, Nibiru?
Well, I want her to feel safe and relax and come here and unwind and enjoy being back at the home world so she can go forth into her missions in other worlds, in civilizations, in space and time, and help those peoples and those worlds evolve and become conscious as well.
Thank you. And would you become again Janet, the person, contactor on Nibiru? And as Janet, what do you want to say to the planet? What do you want to say to Nibiru?
Thank you. I enjoy visiting you, and I love learning what I learned from being a part of this higher level consciousness experience. And I bring that back to planet Earth. And let's use the word pray, that I learn how to express and convey these possibilities to this planet, which seems so locked in a negative paradigm of fear and harm and self-destruction, that it isn't able to envision worlds where people are more conscious, kind, and loving, and share, and come from a planet of abundance rather than lack consciousness and fear.
Thank you very, very much. And now, to move this demonstration along, I'd like you to walk back to into Janet the center, and let Janet the center walk back onto the platform for the transporter. And notice that she's getting ready, and she's coming back to where the transporter platform opens up, and she has that spiral staircase to go up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, getting close to consciousness, remembering everything in your interest to remember, and forgetting which is not ready, what you're ready for. Come back into the present as the center. And would you care to say something from your center about this little demonstration you just did?
Well, it's lovely to be able to explore the different aspects of myself. I still am Janet. I'm always, I'm here. I'm human, at least at this time and place, and I have my things that I like to do as a human, and I enjoy that I get to access my otherworldly selves and my experiences in other worlds as and I often access past lives and other experiences that are relative to my mission here now, and it all supports this system of Janet and her other selves and other beings.
Fantastic. There's one more subpersonality that I'd really like you to experience as part of this. I want you to trade seats with me, and you're going to embody your inner hypnotist that I've embodied. So here, I'm changing seats. Okay, so as Janet's inner therapist, as her hypnotherapist, what are you like when you're in that therapeutic position? And I'd like you to review the session that Janet just did and say what you learned from it, from your perspective as her inner therapist.
Well, Janet has been doing a lot of work on herself for the last 20, 30 years, and so she's learned to relax into the hypnotherapeutic process, realizing it's her ally, her friend, to help her access memories that are overridden by daily life and all the, the hardships and stresses of daily life. So this hypnosis process, when she agrees to be facilitated or facilitates herself in self-hypnosis, allows her to come to peace with herself and her life, and to integrate all of her experiences and realize the benefit she gains from everything that happens to her in her life, and that she is in the driver's seat, and she can create and co-create with others a paradigm that is more kind and loving, and in advance of the perceived paradigm that is projected towards her through things like the media every day.
Way cool. So now I'd like you to just withdraw your energy from me and realize that anything you learned in this exchange that we had, especially the way we did it, is just part of your repertoire, and you don't meet anybody else. You can just do it for yourself whenever you need to.
So to wrap up today's session and today's show, we are calling experiencers of the extraordinary kind, and we're here to promote your story. We would like you to contact us, and you can use your real name or pseudonym, and send us a chapter, a story, an article about your experience with non-ordinary beings. So let's see, right here. Where are you going, honey? Give me this. So you and your stories of others in this series of books we're writing called Experiencers invites humanity's knowledge field to realize that our clandestine rulers already apply science, medicine, and free energy in military and interplanetary operations. 2. Friendly extraterrestrials, guides, other dimensionals, and avatars communicate with us. And 3. We already experience the past reality and the future. We've had contact. We've received our missions and embraced universal love. So now is the time to write about our contact with non-ordinary others and the Prime Creator and everything in between. Your stories help us reach critical mass to help the world respect life, honor all beings, and harmonize with our beautiful planet. So tell your story and come on our shows on aquariumradio.com. Email us aquariumradio@gmail.com. Visit our website aquariumradio.com or give us a call 808-244-4103. And we'd love to connect with you and share your story and take the world to the golden age of Aquarius. Also on our website, you can see our conferences we're listing. We are going to be at Contact in the Desert in May, presenting on the Anunnaki and Experiencers. We will be at UFO Con 2017 in San Francisco. The website is caufo2017.com and contactinthedesert.com. And we will also be at the Mars Conference in Mobile, Alabama in May. And all these links are on the website at aquariumradio.com. Contact in the Desert is in Joshua Tree, and that's where we're going to be through May, and we're adding things as we speak. If you would like us to come speak to your group, please contact us at aquarianradio@gmail.com. That's aquarianradio@gmail.com. If you'd like to book a session with us, give us a call, 808-244-4103. We would love to come to your conference, your event. We could do Skype sessions. We're available in whatever way it works for you, because we're here to help co-facilitate the healing of our wonderful planet, Gaia, Mother Earth, and the human species, because we are worthy and we deserve this incredible existence. Okay, Sasha, final words to you.
Make aloha.
Thanks for joining us today on Aquarium Radio. We broadcast daily and our schedules on aquariumradio.com. Listen live by calling 646-649-0893, or you can listen live by calling 646-649-0893, or listen to our archives on aquariumradio.com. Join us again soon in new time, friends. The age of Aquarius and the paradigm of peace is now.